clear skies, 28 degrees, and it's time now for community comment, which is also available on Daily Dodge TV. We head over to the video room at Slumberland Furniture Studios at 100 Bill McCullum Way, and hosting today's community comment, here is Charlie Dern.
Welcome into Community Comment. I'm here with Amy, Damien, and Craig of the Dodge County Center for the Arts, and we're here to talk about upcoming events. So thanks for coming in, everybody.
Yeah. We always have a
Good to
lot
be
to
here.
talk about.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
Busy
And-
place.
Yeah, exactly. And I was looking at online, I was looking at the upcoming events, and I was saying it to the people in my office. I was like, wow, there's something there going on all the time. All the time.
Amy keeps me hopping.
And that's what we were just kind of talking about before we went on, is all the different hats that you wear. If you kind of wanted to introduce yourself, and I know that you've been on before, but
yeah, I've been on here many times. People get sick of me, but in case my grandkids are there, hi Maisel. I always do my grandkids. Hi Maisel. We had a her Christmas program today. Maisel and Caroline and Grayson. So I was mentioning them. I'm the president of the Dodge County Center for the Arts. I've been probably been in a little about year and a half maybe. As the president, I've been a board member since it's been almost 15 years probably already. And many people have heard the story. I was asked to be there for 1 year to help straighten out some issues, and because I'm not an artist, I'm a I'm a business guy, so to straighten out some issues, and suddenly. The only 1 year, and suddenly it's 15 years later. So, and we're in a new place, and somehow I'm in charge. That still escapes my mind.
and then Damien, you're the cosplay costume designer for the digital art show that's coming up.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we can get into that when we talk about the art show. And then, Amy, you are the gallery manager.
I am the gallery manager. Hello, nice to be here.
And so you've probably got a busy schedule, too.
A very busy schedule, and we'll go over the classes that are coming up for January, the community events, the shows. We have a lot happening at the Dodge County Center for the Arts. And just a reminder, again, for everyone to stop in, because the holiday gift market will be coming down after the 26th. To get your last-minute gifts, make sure you stop in soon. Yeah.
And with that local market, that was for supporting local artists, correct?
Well, we have over 27 different artists with all handmade paintings, craft, design, fabric art, jewelry, pottery, all kinds of wonderful things.
Yep, we have amazing things there, and it's just it's all local. Everything it supports your local artists. We take a small commission. It's not very much. It doesn't even pay for the lights really, but it gives us a chance to get some money, but gives the artists most of the money back. So they're having a great time doing art, and we had a couple of students, one from the Beaver Dam High School, right? No, Beaver Dam.
Yes, we had
Wayland.
a senior from the Beaver Dam High School and a junior from Wayland Academy. One an illustrator and one a photographer, and their work is fabulous. So.
Yep. And they were amazed when they came in one day to check up, because one of Amy's things is the artists have to be responsible for their art, so they come in, they check it out, and make sure that's there, replenishing it. And they were amazed that they sold art. And we're like, why? It was really good. This is good. You should be selling the art. It helps further your career, or even if you never decide that's not what you want to do with your life. It's not a life goal, right? If it isn't, it doesn't matter. But at least you know you've got some talent, and somebody appreciates
valuable.
it. Yeah, somebody appreciates it. Yep.
Speaking of talent, art is something I'm not talented in at all. Never was good at it. And then in high school, that reminded me when you guys were talking about the high schoolers that actually sold art. We had a digital art show for my digital art class, and the Photoshop thing that I created was so bad, it did not get any sales. That's all right.
So you can appreciate the talent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it makes sense then. If
I mean,
actually
if
gets
it makes you feel better, nobody actually has talent. It's something you have to kind of learn and spend a lot of hours screwing up before you get there.
Yeah, that's fair. And I definitely only gave it the class period to really work on the project that I had. Sure. So it never really had a chance, to be fair. But I've moved on. I've moved past it.
And maybe just digital art wasn't your thing, right? So we've got some artists that have gone through the phases, and they've done some art, and they're like, I don't really like that. Try something else, and suddenly they hit something and they really like. And they really become good at it, really proficient,
Yeah, just because you're an artist, you can't be good at everything. I'm not good at pottery, but, I do appreciate the potters,
I wasn't good at ceramics either. I took that class too. I'm in the boat that it's hard for me to draw a good stick figure. So yeah,
All right.
I'll work on it. I should have done more, but that's okay.
Well, then you have to come by your art.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So where should we start with the upcoming events?
Well, let's talk about first of all, my granddaughter Maisel is watching. Hi, Maisel. She is. They just sent me a text. So just so I pointed out, because I always mention that it's part of the thing, right? The final days of the gift gallery, as Amy mentioned, it's almost over. We do have hot chocolate, coffee, free gift wrapping. We do have cookies. Come in, have it, look around. There's always something unique to buy, and it's every price range, from very small things that are really inexpensive to some really
Large
awesome
collectibles.
large paintings or collectibles. The pottery is phenomenal. Both Mary Lynn's and Aaron Linky's. So the pottery is fantastic. The art is fantastic. It's you have to see it, even if you don't buy anything. Because one of the things that one of our volunteers always mentions every time is you got to push the fact that it's free. That the art isn't free. You have to pay for the art. Sorry, sorry, art's not free. But
They're all coming to take their stuff
yeah.
out tomorrow.
yeah, but you can come. But admission to the art center is always free. We that's part of why we take the little commission we do is help keep the lights on, help keep the things and obviously through there. So you want to come, if you just want to come and look around and see the talent, the amazing talent that artists, including Amy and Damien and all the rest of them have in our art show. Lara Crutchen and Aaron Linky and the two girls from the high schools and Marilyn
Tammy Jo
Katzwey, yep, Tammy Delisle. So you have all those great artists. You should come down and see it. So that's their pitch for and it's only this week. This is it. So
This is it.
get down there. And then I'd written on the bottom. I think I've written on the bottom of our list here was we also have books. So if you're not into art or you don't find art, we have thousands and thousands of books in the basement, and you can peruse those for hours to find the ones you want. And they're all like 50 cents on $1. So you don't have to come in and pay a fortune for books. You come in and find the latest Danielle Steele or her whole collection, or there's encyclopedias down there. What encyclopedias? What, Charlie? What's the next encyclopedia? It's not Wikipedia. Sorry, we're gonna pick on him because he's young. I was like, yeah, okay, go ahead. So, all right, then we have our January shows coming up. We have some January stuff coming up.
Yes, our January digital art show, and I think we're going to turn it over to Damian Bertelson. I would like to do a shout out to his parents, Mike and Lucy, who are great volunteers at the
Yeah,
gallery,
amazing.
and we appreciate everything they do. And Damian's their son, and he's our what is it, cosplay? That was a new word for me.
Yeah.
Costume designer. And he can explain what he does and how he does, and he has this and others, and he's gonna have some sort of a demonstration. You tell what you're gonna have for the show.
Mostly I'm going to have pieces that I've made just to put up for display and that kind of thing. I do have a few that are what you might classify as a failure, because not everything comes out right the first time. Usually, like anything that you see that looks nice is probably the 4th or 5th iteration of what I've worked on. So I'll have those out to be looked at.
Will it be like a series of steps on how you got to something?
It might be. I have some things that are like just fresh off the printer, but they weren't like the final product that I wanted.
Sure.
I have a few things that are in that quasi-built state.
Right.
But yeah, a lot of what we do is either like the physical stuff, like the helmet here.
Show them your helmet. How do you make something like that?
So this is 3D printed.
A 3D printer.
Yep, it's plastic, comes apart. It's a lot of magnets. There are fans and foam inside to make it more comfortable.
So you put the magnets on yourself?
Yep, everything is like I build the file on the computer, put it through the printer, it prints it out, and then we spend the hours of sanding and polishing and painting and making it look pretty.
Oh, how does it come out that you have to sand it? It's rough or
It is very rough, yes. Honestly, if you take a look at the inside of this here, because I didn't actually clean that up as well.
Oh, sure.
So it's still kind of rough textured
Sure,
right there.
show them like how that is.
I don't
So-
know if you can really see that there, but
Yeah, for those that don't know, I've been asked that quite a few times because I have a 3D printer as well and do quite a bit. They ask, well, how does it work? Basically, it's like having a fishing line on a spool of unless you're doing resin, but which is
Yeah.
a tank of material. But it comes out like a spool of fishing wire, and it gets heated up to melting to basically molten plastic, and then it's with a tiny little nozzle in a little line, and then as it's put on, it dries. And there are techniques you can do like ironing to make it smoother, but that takes a lot more energy and time to do that. But basically, so you get that layered effect, like kind of like a brick wall almost. And so if you're, you have to sand it down or polish it or use
Put
that
it on,
acetone.
Damien, can we see with it?
oh, sure. I like to think of it as like a reverse 3D etch-a-sketch.
Yep, that's a good.
Yeah.
You can print candy like that too.
Oh my God, very cool. There you go.
That looks great.
Uh-huh. Now, where do you wear things like this, and what do you do?
Mostly I go to like conventions. I've got one coming up in April in Escanaba called Baycon, which is put on by the local college.
Okay.
So I'll be doing that one April 20th. There's other events like Anime Milwaukee. That's usually in February or March. Comic-Cons happen throughout the year. So basically, we just kind of get together. With TikTok, there's a whole bunch of people who put on costumes and do tutorials and
Do you make this for other people, or is that going to be a new job in the future? or-
no, that is expensive.
That was a pretty fast no.
I will do minor commissions for people, like small props and that kind of thing, because that's not too bad. A lot of times people will come up to us and be like, hey, how much for a full suit of armor? And I'll have to point out that I've been building this one for the last 6 years. It is never truly done. So if you're going for like an exact character, you can bang that out maybe in several months. If you're building your own thing, it can take a lot longer.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
And yeah.
And what was the inspiration on the Mandalorian suit? Well, it's the Mandalorian from Star Wars for those.
Yeah.
That aren't-
Which, like I said, I've been working on this one for like 6 years, which kind of predates the show just a little bit.
Yeah, true.
I was introduced to Star Wars as a little kid and kind of went from the whole Jedi are cool to Jedi are kind of weird. But the Mandalorians are cool, and I watched the Clone Wars series
Yep.
and all that stuff. And they delved more into that, and I thought that was more fun. Plus, you go to a bunch of these conventions and you see other people wearing it and go, all right, well, maybe that's something I want to try and put my own spin on.
Yeah, totally. And I watched the Clone Wars with like the Siege of Mandalore and all that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's some good stuff. And it's always interesting. Well, I guess in the show they did a little bit more of it towards the end or the newer season, where a lot of different masks, a lot of different painting and stuff like that. And so then, how did you pick your colorway?
I'd like to say that I had an idea when I started. It was more of I just went, oh, that looks cool, and started throwing that on, and the color schemes kind of just evolved over the years. This has been repainted 5 or 6 times, to be honest. I do like to just let it weather down a bit, and then as I decide that it's like, hey, my life has gone in this direction, I want brighter colors or darker colors, I'll just repaint it at those times.
Cool. And then, is this you on the flyer? Is that you wearing the
Yes.
the suit?
That is me in like the last paint job that it had.
That's
Yeah.
very cool.
It's available
I don't know
online,
if
by the
they
way,
have
for
that.
those.
Yeah, DodgeCountyArts.org.
Yes.
Yeah, the armor does look a little different now. But yes, it has been repainted since then. But yeah,
That's great. And this is going to be part of the Digital Art Show coming up in January.
yes.
Yes, yeah.
And that's happening from January 6th through February 4th.
Yep.
And definitely we have an opening on January 6th from 1 to 3 where you can meet Damien and our other artist, Tyler Marks, who is a digital illustrator who has futuristic kind of illustrations and really beautiful. But I wanted you to turn this around so they could see the back of it, which is very cool. He is I don't know, do you take off and go into outer space with this? Or
Oh, the jetpack? Unfortunately, it is not functional. There are people who like hollow it out and they'll put lights and smoke machines inside of it. I haven't gotten that far yet.
Did that get printed out too, or did you buy that?
50% bought, 50% printed.
Nice. Okay, cool. Were you?
I was gonna say, if you ever want to see cosplay like this, that's amazing. Go to any of the conventions, Comic-Con. I've been going to Gen Con for almost 40 years, and every year the cosplay gets better and more realistic and more, and they really get into they're into it, and it's a lot of fun to watch. I mean,
do you have a mask and a costume?
no, I have trouble being myself. I can't imagine being someone else.
Oh, it's actually a lot of fun. The worst part of this whole thing, though, is I get used to wearing the helmet, and people go to ask for my picture, and I forget that people can see my face, so I stick my tongue out at them.
There you go.
And then what about the thermal detonator?
So yeah, I also have a little Star Wars thermal detonator. If you are a fan of Pokemon, it is painted as a Pokeball.
Oh, I thought it was the Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch.
That,
Anybody Ninja laughed at that one. He's probably the only one who knows what you know what that reference?
oh yes,
Yeah,
I
okay.
very much do. I also like to hide little other fandom things in my armor design and all that. So that's probably going to get in there at some point.
And then what other kind of digital art will be at the digital art show?
Oh, well, it's, we have Tyler Marks, and he's,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, we don't have a bigger flyer, but he's the one that did the illustration in the middle.
Okay.
And so it's gonna be costume design, which is 3-dimensional, and then this is a 2-dimensional art that'll be on the wall.
Got
So,
it.
But he does it on a computer, but he didn't want people to think that it was an AI, that the computer was doing it, because he actually does the illustrations and the drawings himself. It's just done on the computer.
I see.
That is something that I need to spend a lot more time working on.
Right, right.
I saw that in January, the general community art that people can come in for. The theme is New Year's Vision Collages.
Right, they're gonna be vision boards, and it's gonna be a collage. I just brought one. It's one that I have done for me, but everyone does their own thing. We'll have lots of magazines to look at and to cut out, but it's just a collage, and there's different things, like, oh, here I have like the healing path, for different things I do. And, oh, I'm gonna go on vacation, so I have suitcases. It's just instead of writing down like New Year's resolutions, this is a vision board of what you wanna see yourself doing or becoming in the new year, and it's a lot of fun. So it's any age, come on in, and we will do that for our community. And it's anytime we are open. We have a big art station, and you can come as well as see everything we have going on. You can do a piece of artwork. So we are open. Our new hours are noon to 5, Wednesday through Friday, 10 to 3 on Saturday, and noon to 3 on Sundays. So.
This Friday will be open till 7 because it's the final part.
Oh, right.
Mary
During
Katz
during
was
this
gonna come
holiday
in and open
art
for us
market, we are open till 7 on
on
Friday.
Fridays. Yeah, yeah. But there's and the it's free because I didn't mention. Did I mention that it's free? It's free. I didn't mention my grandkids, but it is free.
The
It is
community
free,
art
but,
project is always free
it's
and,
out- yep.
and open to everybody.
And it's sponsored in part by the donations we get from the Children's Radiothon. So
Exactly.
it's because our goal is to bring art to the community, but also especially to bring art to children. And so it's a great opportunity for parents and grandparents, especially grandparents who have hi Maisel, who have grandparents who need something, want to entertain the kids for a little bit rather than trying to find something. Come down, do some art for free, and kids love art. I mean, every kid I know that sat down at the stations by the end of the year
Right.
has
We
just
had
gone
a
crazy.
snowman coloring contest, and oh my God, I had to judge it, and I couldn't. It was like they were all so good. It was like crazy, and we had ages from 1 year old to 46, and it's ridiculous. It was really fun.
and then we have prizes, and Amy's left me a note that said, "Hey, we need more prizes because we have way too many." We have way too
I
many.
couldn't decide. I was giving everyone a prize.
So we'll have some 3D printed prizes, believe it or not. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So Damon, do you because I know a little bit about this, but do you actually design them like in a CAD program? Do you actually draw your own, or
I usually do more splicing.
okay?
So I'll find files. I do build certain parts by myself, but I don't get into like the full on. I'm going to sculpt this from the base up.
Okay.
I'm again. That's one of those like learning curves that I've started getting into this in the last couple of years. Some of my armor is 3D printed. Some of it is actually just plastic formed.
Yeah. I've done some work in the past, some drawings, and I was like, no, this isn't for me. It's really tedious and time consuming, and I don't have that that kind of patience for
Well,
it.
yeah, because he
I
said,
just didn't know, but you
this
sound like
has
you'd
taken
come
you
in.
years to
Yeah.
construct or reconstruct it
Yeah,
after
so
time.
it's like
Yeah,
I
it's
started
awesome.
out doing foam construction, and then I cut out plexiglass and heat formed that.
Uh-huh.
And then I learned about like 3D printing and that kind of stuff. Like the helmet is actually, I think, 4 different helmets and a spaceship spliced together.
Okay.
Kind of a found object digital art.
Yeah.
Kind of, yes. Like it is a collage in itself.
Right.
But that's kind of part of the whole like creating your own thing. You don't always have all the tools to start with. You don't need to learn how to do all the like super drastic changes and that kind of thing. You can build on various other skills of what somebody else has already made. So yeah, it's kind of like your vision board, just I'm
Right.
wearing it.
Right, exactly. And then you combine it with like a fabric design and you do that? You do-
Yeah, so like I do sewing and all that kind of stuff for it because it's not just the hard parts, it's also the soft parts that we do. Some of it is thrift shopping.
Right.
But I will have like a couple coats. I've got for the Harry Potter fans out there, there'll be 2 Quidditch uniforms that I made, which
Is this real crystal on there?
no, that is a resin print.
Oh, okay.
Looks real.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. You have a light behind it.
yep. It's a little kyber crystal from Star Wars lightsaber, just in the little chest diamond. So it's more
Cool.
fun if it lights up.
Very cool. Very
You
good.
said Harry Potter Quidditch outfits, and then
Yes.
I think you were gonna list things, or was that it? Sorry.
I mean, those are 2 of the things because I've got a Gryffindor one that I made.
Cool.
It is my own design. It's not what you're going to see like in the movies and that kind of stuff. But I thought about it. It's like, how would I have done it? So it's my interpretation. And then I did one that is the Irish national Quidditch team.
Cool.
Can we see you working for Disney someday?
Graphic design, yeah, anything really.
Yeah, just
I always do
costume.
love
Hollywood.
I always love when the graphic designers
I mean-
make new jerseys for teams and all that, and, or like new
Yeah.
uniforms. Yeah.
So this is one of those hobbies that does get a lot of recruitment. I do know people that go to conventions and they are paid to be there, mostly because they join the contest and they win the contest. So when you can walk out with a couple $1,000s,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Well,
I-
this is new and exciting, and we're trying to get, for the new year, new and exciting blood, young men in here who are wonderful artists and designers, and so this new show is going to be exciting for the new year. Set us off right.
Yeah, one of the problems we have at the art center is that Amy's gotten such a rapport with the artists that they all want to have a show now, and we want to. We've been talking about it. We want to have new programs all the time, but we don't want to abandon things we've done in the past that were successful. So we're kind of in that medium, like we want to promote new artists, but we don't, and not by promoting meaning the same old artists, but the same feature or the same theme, and find new artists that can fill that theme, or some of our established artists, Steve Strassman and people like that.
Right. Well,
Excuse me.
I was going to say, we'll put it together like a
Yep.
dance. We'll weave it all together.
Yep.
It's all going to be fabulous. And
Amy does a great job of putting it together. I can't
thank
give her
you.
enough props for she's been with us for about a year. I hired about a year ago, and it was like, this is what I needed, so I didn't have to do it.
There's certainly
you.
worse
Thank
problems
you.
to have than wanting older artists wanting to come back and keep doing
Yeah,
shows
totally.
and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
we are at one
No,
point
we have a
booked
waiting
until
list.
20. We're booked till like 2025. So,
Wow.
for shows, because again, just for those that don't know, our gallery is divided basically into 2 sections. We have to 2 showrooms in the back where we have shows, and then in the front is our regular gallery where we invite any artist to come in. It doesn't have to be part of the theme or part of the thing. Just come in and show your art. You get a space to hang your art for like 30 days and hang your art, see if it sells. If it doesn't,
Right.
come back
and,
in.
And they rotate it,
Yep.
and either new artists come in or the artists that are there will rotate. So every time you come, there's going to be something new, something different.
And is that about a month? Every month it's a rotation?
Basically, yeah,
but yeah.
right,
Yeah,
right.
up to
Like I
6
said,
weeks,
though,
yeah.
some artists are going to come and go, and other artists are going to change their
Okay.
stuff up and move it around.
I see what you're saying. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
And then just keeping on with January, Watercolor Wednesdays.
Yep, it's part of Yvonne Amport. Sorry, Lisa. Yvonne,
Lisa.
Yvonne's her daughter. They're friends with my kids. Lisa Amport, one of our established artists, has brought in some.
Lisa Amport.
Lisa Amport, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I said Yvonne because that's her daughter's
Oh,
name.
yeah. Oh,
Hi, if you're there. She decided to come up with an idea to do Watercolor Wednesdays, where basically she would come in and sit down and do watercolor, and you could come in and ask the artist about things that they're doing, like why are you doing that? Why are you doing this? You don't have to pay anything. Again, it's free. She does have little things if you want to help her do something or do something on your own. She'll teach you, but then there's a cost for the materials, which is usually like $3 or $5. It's not like none of our art is expensive. None of our classes are expensive. We try to keep them so that they're affordable to everyone. So you could bring a whole group of people and not feel like you've gone to a night at the Ritz-Carlton. You know, you've got
Right.
you've got a really nice
Yeah,
stuff.
Lisa's idea was that when she was starting to paint, her mother's an artist, but she would sit and watch her mother, and her mother always did more oils and acrylics and things like that. Well, Lisa was interested in watercolors, and she really wanted to, it's a art that you can learn so much just by watching someone. So what she wanted to do is come in on Wednesdays and paint and have people come and watch her, and she brings in extra paints and paper and everything, and you can sit down and paint with her, and she'll show you techniques and how to do things. Or if you just don't want to do anything and just watch her, you can do that. And I thought, what a great idea, what a neat concept.
And you'd think, well, we did watercolors as kids, right? Or my kids did watercolors, our grandkids do watercolors. But there's a whole sides to it. There's not just the little trays you buy at the store. There's inks, there's brushes make a difference, the amount of water you use, and she explains all that.
You can put salt
Yep.
down to make the colors just,
I
mean,
love those effects.
Yeah, it's very cool.
So as she was telling me this story about how she was going to do this class, and we were telling us we were going to do this, we're like, yes, we should do this. But then one of the words she said is, well, it's a great way to ask an artist. And I thought we should have a program like all the time called Ask an Artist. So I'm going to challenge all the artists that are listening, or their friends of the artists who are listening, to tell your friends that are artists, to tell them that we'd like to see more of that. We'd like to see more people. We'd like to have a potter. I've talked to some people who do sewing and asked them, and they said maybe they would come in and
Stained
do
glass.
Yep, stained glass.
Jewelry.
Anything that you can do in an hour or two, and you don't have, and there's no cost. You just come in and do it, and you teach the class, or just not even teach, just do it yourself. Just do your work, and as people ask you questions, and then if you want to try to sell something along the way, to say here's a kit to help make a stained glass thing, or here's some clay, special clay for pottery, or whatever, you can do that. But we just
Now,
want.
what are you thinking on Wednesdays? Different
Um,
Wednesdays
I
or
don't know.
different days? Or
It's kind of weird. Watercolor Wednesday is very alliterative, so
Right.
I don't know if you could do watercolor pottery Wednesdays. It doesn't sound right. There's no, but I don't. And really, we
throw
will.
a pot on Thursday.
And we're told. Yeah, there you go. Throw a pot on Wednesdays.
Ceramic Saturday. I
Thursday.
don't
There
know.
you go.
Yeah, Ceramic
I like that.
Saturday.
But and to be honest with you, it doesn't matter, because anytime that we're open, you can do this. So because we have the community art that we do, which is always available. But if you say, well, I can only do this on like a Friday afternoon, then do it on a Friday afternoon. It's not that important. It's important that you can put this out and reach the artists, that you could reach the community and bring them in to show them your art, but just educate them about art, because Amy's a really great artist. She is, but some of the things she doesn't do is she's not into realism. She's not into
Right.
pointillism.
I'm
Watercolor.
more
You're just learning
impressionist
watercolor.
and
Yeah.
abstract. Yeah.
Yeah, you're learning watercolor from
so
Lisa.
I actually take a lot of these classes. I took Steve Strussman's painting without a brush. He does oil pastels, and it's a totally different thing. And he's a realist, and his work is in there, and it's absolutely beautiful. He's going to be having a show three shows into the year, and he's going to do live demonstrations and have things like that. So, anyways, yeah. But I take classes myself because you never stop learning, and I love trying out new techniques and new material, and it's very cool.
And my favorite story is my high school teacher, Earl Ritter, who just recently passed away. He was my high school teacher, and Steve's, and Mary
Mary
Lynn
Lynn's.
Ketzman's. Yeah, he was all our art teachers. He came in and took Steve's class, and again, he was in his late
90s.
He was his 90s, taking this class with Steve, and he kept saying, "I didn't know how to do that. That's the first time, you know." So he was learning to do art in his 90s. That he was an art teacher, he's a professional artist,
To a
professional
student-
art
from a
teacher.
student.
He put on all the plays at the high school in Horicon, and you know he did a lot of the artwork there. So you're never too old to learn, and even if you do it and you say, "Oh, it's not really for me," then you learn. It's not for you. Just do something else.
Right.
Yeah, so we have a great
Right.
time. Yeah.
Exactly.
Can you tell we just got to take over, right? Charlie's looking at us like, "What do I get to talk?"
No. Well, that's not why. That's not why. It was because I was going to say we do need to take a break.
Oh,
So I'm here with Amy McPherson, Damian Burleson, and Craig Caston of the Dodge County Center for the Arts. You're listening on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.
Beaver Dam Center for the Arts. And now here's your host, Charlie Dern.
I mean, it was like disfunkled a little bit when I was talking. I mean, when he texted me, I'm like, I think I know what he's talking about. 'Cause he's like, okay.
We're back.
Welcome back into Community Comment on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge. I'm here with members of the Dodge County Center for the Arts, here to talk about upcoming events. Amy McPherson, Damian Burleson, and Craig Caston. And we talked about a lot, and we still have a lot to cover.
Oh yes, we could go for hours. Let's go.
So yeah, let's
Except
just
Davey, he's got to go to work.
yeah, bummer. We can just dive right in
Sure.
then.
Let's talk about the first thing on our list. We're talking about hanging snowman, right? We have a class coming up January 7th. There's only 20 spots available, and you can stop in at any time and paint a cute hanging snowman. And it's for $6. Sorry, I don't have bifocals. It's $6.
Not like me.
$6 covers everything. You come in, it covers the paint, the actual
little wood-
snowman,
the
the
wood
little wooden
thing.
snowman, and you can paint it and take it home with you. And you don't. And we always say that, but you don't have to necessarily paint. If you're really not into painting, we have glitter, we have all kinds of stuff. We don't try to squash
We have
art.
hot glue guns.
Yeah,
You can put all kinds of stuff on
Yeah,
it.
we don't
Do
squash
it.
the art. If
Do
you
it.
have a different idea about it, you're not a true realist where you want it to look like a snowman. You want it to look something in between. Go ahead. It's
And
fine.
that's going to be taught by Jenny Kobar, who is one of our resident artists. You can see her beautiful work. She does pour painting classes, but she's doing this class. She always does a class the first week, the first Sunday of every month, and this Sunday, the first Sunday in January, she's going to be doing the hanging snowman.
And that is our reach. We talk about Dodge County Center for the Arts. It's Dodge County and the surrounding areas. Jenny's actually from Allenton, so her and her husband drive in once a week to volunteer. And
Once a month.
Once a month, sorry. And then she,
I was going to say,
Jenny,
really?
it's once a week now. and,
You volunteered her. Hi, Jenny,
volunteered.
thank you.
and comes in and does that. And she thought she was the one that started the idea. Well, if I'm here on a Sunday, and it's kind of quiet, usually quiet on Sundays, Packer games and all that stuff. Why can't I teach a class? And I said, well, why can't you? And she goes, okay, I will. And so she did. She taught pour painting classes for about 6 months, and now she's going to try something different, just to see what people are interested in and things like that. So, and we offer that to all of our artists. If any artist wants to volunteer and come down like on a Sunday and volunteer to work, have a class. Make some money. Show off your art, show off your skills. You never know. We've done things where we've had art. We had a plein air festival once, and someone did this tremendous painting of. Actually, it was colored pencil painting. Or colored pencil painting, right? A colored pencil drawing of.
What are you talking
of a-
about?
I don't know. I have no idea.
They actually make those. But
Yeah, the colored pencil drawing of a building, and she was actually commissioned by some other people because they saw it and thought, that's amazing. For the Peony Festival, she did a flyer, right? And the flyer, the judges were kind of upset because they thought it was digital art because it was not supposed to be, and it turned out it wasn't. It was actually pencil drawing, and it was so amazing that you couldn't tell.
She had
Yeah.
one of her pieces. I can't think of her name though.
It'll come to me. Don't worry.
Not
so,
Noelle's.
so let's. So then we want the next thing up on our list that we will, because we want to get through all this, is painting made easy that Amy teaches.
I do. I teach Painting Made Easy, and that's always the second Sunday of the month. And so you can just come in or you can sign up. It doesn't matter. But we are going to be doing, it's always an easy painting. We're going to be doing owls. And you finish a piece. It's usually a 12 by 12 canvas. I supply all the paints, the brushes, the canvases. It's $25 a person, but you always have a great time, and we have a theme. I help you with it. You're going to be able to finish a piece, but you're able to create it any way you want. Use the colors you want. Do whatever kind of owl you would like. We'll put it down on a canvas, and it's really fun. It's we always have a group of people, and before you know it, it's a group of, I don't know, the energy of a group of artists doing the same thing. It's you can't explain it. It's really fun, and it's exciting, and it's stimulating, and I don't know. Come join us, and you'll find out.
Is that one of those classes that's almost step by step on your process and how they can do it?
Well, it is a step-by-step in a way because we're time limited for 2 hours. So it's like, I'll have something that gets them an owl on the paper, and then we'll do the background, and then we'll do the owl, and then we'll put in finished paint things to liven it up. But yeah, it is a little bit of a step-by-step, just because we're time limited, and I'll push you along so you finish a piece.
But
That's
there's,
perfect.
But there's no limit. There's no limit to what you can do. There's no
Right, it's not like, there's no right or wrong, there's no perfect owl.
For those artistically challenged, it helps to have the steps
Yeah.
there,
Very
so
good.
Right,
that I
right.
can
No,
know where I'm
right.
going.
I wouldn't leave you hanging, no,
Something to build from, at least.
And then is that similar to how the hanging snowman's gonna go?
Well, the hanging snowman is a little wood piece that's already cut out, and then I don't know, she's going to have you paint on it, and like I said, we have glue guns there. You can glue, you can put sparkles on it. I don't know, probably fabric, whatever.
Put
you know.
googly eyes on it, Amy.
Yeah, put googly eyes on it.
It's not really artless, and it's googly eyes. that's my running gag. Googly eyes.
And so the painting made easy is every second Sunday,
Every second Sunday.
and so that will fall on January 14th.
Exactly,
January.
January 14th from 1 to 3 o'clock. Mhm.
Yep.
And more teachers are needed.
Well, we would love any teachers to come in and offer a class. You don't necessarily have to volunteer. You can come in and do a class when there are volunteers there. So if you feel like you just really need to concentrate on your class, or if you'd like to come in on, we have 2 other Sundays in the month. Sign up and to have a class.
Yep. Or you could be part of the Ask an Artist and just do that instead.
Oh,
If you-
yep,
if
Ask
you
an
don't wanna
Artist on
really Do
Wednesdays.
a class. Come in and paint. Come in and draw. Come in and do some pottery. Do some sewing. Do something, and just invite people to come in. And we'll invite people. And Lisa Amport has said she's had full houses the last couple of those because people really are interested. They're not necessarily interested in becoming watercolor artists. They're just interested in the process. How does it work? Why do you pick the colors you do? How do you get the colors to bleed? Brush pressure means everything. I mean, there's all this stuff. I was watching her the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do that. That's all. There's way too many things to think about. It's like driving a Zamboni, right? There's way too many things about when you're driving a Zamboni. Trust me. It's not fun as it looks on TV.
Yeah.
But so we've got that. We do have our Spark program that we run. That's what is it? The
Third
Thursday. I always forget.
Third Thursday at I think 2 o'clock, isn't it?
And we have flyers online for that. And there's it's for people with dementia and their caregivers. It gives them a chance to get out, and we always have some
Experiential thing happening
Rob
at the
Grizzle
gallery.
from the ADRC and Chris Fernock, our vice president, who are trained in this kind of thing, come in and they do some little program that helps them visualize art to help them, just make them take it out of their element that they're in. and bring
Stimulate
them somewhere.
memories and
Yeah.
talk and have camaraderie with others.
Yep, and then we always have an art show every year for mental health awareness, and Rob from the ADRC helps us put up a show, usually called Beautiful Expressions, that shows off the art from caregivers and the actual people with dementia and stuff like that. We put our purple flags out every year. We had 2,150 flags this year,
Right.
which is one for every person in Dodge County that has dementia.
It's amazing
And
how
it
many,
was
isn't it?
it was up 150 from last year.
Wow.
So that's a staggering number. So we try really hard to bring
You
our
wonder
art
if
to the
it's
community.
up or there's just the awareness.
The awareness.
It could be. Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People that might have fallen through the cracks before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now they're
Nice.
being
It's still
recognized.
a rising number. It's still scary.
And I know that none of us are scientists here, but I have seen that art does really help with Alzheimer's and dementia,
Oh, yeah.
and bringing that out, like you mentioned, with the memories and that
Right.
creative side that might have.
Mental plasticity and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a safe environment.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
one
That's
of those
nice.
great documentaries where they showed a guy who had started to lose everything and he couldn't remember, but he remembered how to play the piano. And when he played the piano, he could remember his wife's name. When he stopped playing, he couldn't remember anything.
Wow.
He was like, I don't know who you are.
Oh, that
And
just
then
gave
he
me
started
chills,
playing. He was like,
yeah.
yeah, it's like it was really fascinating to watch. Really heartbreaking, but it was really fascinating to watch. But yeah, so we have that. So we try really hard to bring art to the community, and that's what we're trying to do. So we're challenging artists in the community to say we are a resource for this. You don't have to sign up. You don't have to sign your life away. Just come in. Talk to me or talk to Amy, especially Amy because she's really the one in charge. It's not me. I just sign the checks.
I throw everything by him,
Yeah.
and either he says yay or nay, but he's always says yes. So
And we
it
always
doesn't
our running
matter.
gag is my only rule for projects?
Don't burn the place down.
Yeah, 20%. That's a rule. Otherwise, it's pretty much anything you want. So, yeah, so we do that. Some other, how much time we got? We got 2 hours yet? Just need to look at Charlie's face. We could talk about, sorry, we could talk about some of the things that were, just again, a reminder that our hours are Wednesday through Friday from noon to 5, Saturday from 10 to 3, and Sunday from noon to 3. Admission's always free. Charlie, we are working an extra hours on Friday. Mary Lynn Katzman's going to help us lead us for a couple extra hours just for that last minute shopping on Friday. We've been open. Come down and see our snowman and things like that. You can always find anything we're doing at dodgecountyarts.org. You can also find us online on Facebook at facebook.com/Beaver Dam Arts. You can also find us on Twitter or X or whatever they call it now, whatever it's called this week. And I also do Instagram. So there's also all of that. Daily Dodge, I put all my things on Daily Dodge, the Chamber's website, things like that. So come down or call us at 341-6278 is the main number. Come down and see it. It's just amazing, the things that Amy's brought us to do, and now with especially with her engagement with the artists, how much more the artists really want to be involved in our programs and stuff, and we're evolving every day.
Right, and we're a good place to come. Like we had Steve Bennett there. If you are interested in having a portrait or family portraits, you can come to the gallery and we can definitely get you a hold of the artists or get you 2 people that we've had shows with. And we're a nice place to in between. We can connect you with the different artists that are doing different things, because it's not just stuff we have in the gallery, but if you need things done or advertising or a special gift you want personalized, we'll get you in touch with the right artist that can do it for you.
Yep.
So I saw Go Fly a Kite at Cabin Fever Fest. That sounds awesome.
Yep, this will be our 3rd year of doing this. What we're doing is we came up, our former gallery manager, Kayla, and her husband, Q, actually came up with this idea. They said, well, we should do something for Cabin Fever Fest. And I'm like what? And they're like, well, we should do something like art. And I'm like, well, that helps.
Yeah.
And then they kept working on it. And also they came back and they said, well, there's these paper kites you can buy. There are like on Amazon that are really cheap, and we could have them out there and have kids marker them and paint them, marker and color and stuff like that. They could build them, and then if there's ice on Tahoe Park, they can fly it over Tahoe Park. So it was very well received. So we're going to do it again this year. It's January 27th, and I think it's from 10 to 2, and we're going to be at Tahoe Park. At least at this point we are. We have all the final confirmations from the Activities and Services Department, who actually runs the Cabin Fever Fest. But we will be there. Again, courtesy of the Children's Radiothon, the kites will be free. We will have, we're hopefully just for kids. We've actually run out the last couple of years. We will have hot chocolate and snacks for sale. But the kites are free. The coloring's free. Build a kite and go fly a kite. So it's
when
great.
you say kids, are you talking about actual kids or kids at heart?
Both.
Well, as my son would say, what are you, 10? My son says that often to me. Very often. Are you 10? I'm like, no, I'm 12. I'm 12. Just pointing out. My son thinks I take a little job, but that's okay. That's right. Yeah, so is Amy. I pointed that out, by the way. So we have we'd love to because Cabin Fever Fest is about family and having people out there during the winter and little break, and we'd love to see that happen. As the Activities and Services Department has expanded it over the years from when Phil and I and a group of us from the chamber had started this back, and the senior center at the time, and we started this back then, and it used to be just at Crystal Lake Park, and it was small, it was nice. Carla Jensen, the former gallery director or gallery manager,
At the Seipel House.
At the Seipel House, I had a poetry contest and poetry reading and things like that. So it's a lot of fun. And we had a balloon drop. We had a ping pong ball drop, that's enough story for another time. There's some hilarious stories about that, how that didn't turn out. And we had a lot of fun. But we did that, and the Community Activities and Services Department has taken it over, and they've made it a spectacle basically, and now it's in multiple places around town. So we want to keep being part of that.
And come down and see our big snowman outside. I think Craig has a little story to tell us about that. Putting it up.
Let's hear
it.
it.
Was like a Seinfeld story. He was
Oh,
telling me.
boy.
I was starting to put him up, and I got a call from a customer that he had something urgent, so I just left him. He was blown up already, and I had him staked down, and I walked in the office, and I'm sitting at the computer at the art center, and I look over my back, and here's the snowman with his face.
It's huge.
His face made me jump. I was like, oh my god! And I finished what I was doing. Then I looked back, and he was gone. I was like,
He's running down the street on this giant snowman.
he got broken loose of his tethering and flew. Actually unplugged him the other day because it was so windy. But he flew down the he was going down the street. I'm like, well, that's kind of interesting. That'll be on Beaver Dam Chatter later.
Yep. Some of the doctors on the morning show today were saying that happened in the wind last night. That their inflatables blew away last night. So it happens to everybody.
Yeah, it does. So it was fun. It was fun though. It was a great time. But yeah, so we have all kinds of cool things down there. Like I said, I can't say enough about what Amy's done. I can't say enough about what all the other artists have done to bring to help us on the journey from going from
Where we can't be anything without the artists.
Yep.
You know, they make it.
from 3.5 years ago or whatever it was when we were nearly ready to close the art center to say we just don't have enough volunteers. We don't have a place to go.
Well, it was the pandemic.
No, it was before that.
Oh.
Yeah, it was right before that. We got our we got the building from the Geezys, and then we had a lot of volunteers, a lot of really hard workers, and then we finally hired Kayla as a gallery manager. And it was before Amy, and we took off. Then the pandemic hit, and we had to start all over. But when we came back and hired Amy, then the rapport, you could see that the people really want art. They really want to help us communicate.
Another thing I saw on the website was the Fabergé eggs. And I don't know why, but they are so interesting to me. And like the intricate, they're small. I don't know. They're amazing.
Yeah.
Is anybody involved with those here?
Well, those were a collection from the
Okay.
Seipels, from the Seipel House,
I
and
see.
we have those. They're beautiful. They're from around the world, and we have those for sale, and it's a donation to the Dodge County Center for the Arts. But if you want a one-of-a-kind, something really spectacular, come take a look at those.
Yeah, we had quite a few of them, and they got some of them got taken out, and a few got broken. So Amy was like, "This is dumb. Shouldn't be doing this. Let's just sell them because they're just sitting here, and somebody's going to break more." So she asked me, and I said, "Yeah, go ahead, put them up on sale." And so we're those. So if you want something really unique, I mean, obviously all the art is unique. We don't have
Right.
none of the art is nothing's been knocked off where it's like 40
But
copies
these
of the
are
same thing.
beautiful goose eggs that are just designed.
There's
I mean,
pictures on the
they're
website
beautiful.
too for people that are.
Yeah, different sizes, different
yeah.
things, but you have to experience. The picture doesn't do them justice. You have to
No,
come
right.
take a look at them. So yeah, come on down and take a look at that.
Another interesting thing we have, and that will be coming down too, the 26th, and because we have to move and bring new artists in, we need the space. So we'll maybe bring them back out at Easter, but
So Craig did not make the Fabergé eggs.
well,
No,
he wanted to take a class, and I said, no, I just don't think it's right for you.
That would be like a month-long course to figure out how to make those.
400 broken eggs later. Yes,
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe Damien needs to make some out of it,
a 3D print.
out of
Yeah.
3D printer.
Yeah, that's a
I
good
mean,
way.
that
to
would
do
be
it.
the easy one. Just throw it on the resin printer and go, okay, we'll
Yep.
see that tomorrow.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, I know we've talked about all the different events going on, but what are some different ways that people can support the Dodge County Center for the Arts?
We can always use teachers. We can always use people who want to teach. We can always use artists. You can always come down and talk to Amy and get on the schedule. We can always do that. You can always volunteer. We used to have before the pandemic. We had a great set of volunteers. We'd had like calling trees. Where we'd say we're going to do this, and then we'd have, they'd do the calling tree thing to call people. So that would be great to restart that. Somebody to pass around flyers. I still wanted to try to get together what I loosely refer to as a street team. Give some people T-shirts to say Dutch County Center for the Arts on them, and maybe street team on the back, and then have them go around when we have a new show and pass out the flyers and pass those out. Because I try to do it, and Amy tries to do it, and some other people try to do it. But you can tell when I go into places that it's not covered. We're not getting there. So I take a bag of thumbtacks with me and stick them up on all these bulletin boards all over town, but I can't get everywhere. And so it's nice to have somebody that just had a list and they went here, 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 here. Okay, done. And then every month or every week they go by and check and, you know, do them. So that'd be great. Always volunteers for groundskeeping and things like that. I said we could use passive volunteers. You don't even have to volunteer. Just our trees outside shed branches every time the wind blows. There's branches on the ground. I'm not sure why, but maybe we should comb them better. But you need different hair stuff, right? So Chuck and I, like especially Chuck and our really good volunteer Chuck Vogel, and I usually are out there picking up sticks all the time. So it'd be nice if somebody did that, so we didn't have to do that. You know, if somebody really wanted to mow the lawn, because I'm tired.
Yeah, and it can be kids. You know, if
Yeah.
you on a Saturday want to come down to the art center and just goof off and do some artwork and go outside and do some little things, you're welcome to come down. It's nice. You know,
Yeah.
it's nice to participate and help and do something in the community.
Yeah, we love to have volunteers, and we love to see that. We love to see in the old days, right? 15 years ago.
Stop
When
aging
Charlie
us.
Charlie was still in grade school, and we used to have. Sorry, I couldn't resist. We used to get a lot of sponsorships for shows, and that was part of our funding. Was, you know, we have donations, we have memberships. You can always join as a member. You know,
Membership's big.
Memberships are big, yeah, because then you get all the news. You get the newsletters. You can always get them online, but I usually mail them out to the people.
You
know,
get up to dates on all the
yeah.
classes and everything that's
Yep.
going on.
And we do that. So membership is great, but we'd always love to see, you know, we'd love to see a return to that, to have a show sponsored by somebody. So, you know, so that it just helps take the pressure off. It helps because, you know, it's a bit, you know, no matter how you look at it, you know, it's a business. And it really wasn't meant out to be a business. It was supposed to be a loose collection of art people, but it ended up being, because we have a building now, we have business. We have, you know, we have heat and water and you know,
There's
snow
expenses.
removal, yeah, and now repairs. We've got some
A gallery
lot of repairs
manager.
going on. Yeah, I've got a gallery manager. I have to pay her. I pay her weekly, very weekly, very weekly. But yeah, but
I have to say, I have my hours.
that's right. So we do that. So we have a great time with that. Anybody else that wants to support, one of the things that we had on here was we've had a lot of support from the Beaver Dam Area Community Foundation, and Tom Heffron and those guys have given us. We've invested into their program some of our money, and that's given us returns. And some of those returns are we were able to get a grant for some small money towards some money towards. We had to pay the rest of it, but through a chairlift, so people with disabilities can get down the stairs. We're also just got a new one to help us put a sink upstairs. We have a bathroom sink, which is very small.
We don't want kids running through the gallery with wet paint.
Yeah, trying
So
to-
we
trying-
need a separate
She had to
area.
wash the brushes and things like that. And believe it or not, we don't have hot water. We've never had hot water because we had a hot water heater, and every time I turned it on, it would kick itself off in 5 minutes, and that violates the first rule: don't burn the building down. So it
Yeah.
got turned off permanently, and we've never really had a need for it, but we really should have one, you know, for sanitary reasons and things like that. So that's going to help us to purchase some on-demand hot water heaters. So if they wanted to, anybody wants to donate to our fund, to the Beaver Dam Area Community Foundation, if you haven't already, that you can go to our website, and there's a link there that tells you how to. It's really easy to donate to our fund, and all the money that you donate to the Dodge County Center for the Arts through the Area Community Foundation goes to us. It
Would this
doesn't-
be considered like a grassroots kind of thing, trying to get bigger and bigger as far as the Dodge County Center for the Arts?
I'd love to see us get bigger. I'd love to
Yes,
see-
and expand.
I'd love to
and
see us expand. I'd love to see us have enough money to do, you know, to get more, to some of the rooms that are kind of unusable now just because of the space or whatever. I'd love to see that all redone. I'd love to see us, or have a Dodge County Center for the Arts East, right?
Because the
If
more
Diane Ogle's listening.
the more volunteers we get, the more hours we can be open.
Yeah.
We can expand and have classes downstairs and have kids
I'd love
more
to-
kids classes and things like that.
Yeah, I'd love to see us be open all the time, because my main goal in the building was cars in the parking lot and people in the building, and that's whether you're buying or not. It doesn't matter. It's you're enjoying the art, but you're enjoying the process of art. You're supporting the artists, and that's really, it's not about so much about us. It's about the artists.
Exactly.
Well, for Craig, Damien, sorry, my
okay.
apologies, and Amy, thank you guys so much for coming in to Community Comment today. This was great meeting you all and
Yep.
getting to know about everything going on. There's so much going on and a lot of stuff that I could probably use to learn and get better at art. So I really appreciate you guys coming on in, and And thanks.
Definitely mark your calendar for January 6th, 1 to 3. Come meet Damien and see the opening of our new show,
Yep.
Digital Art. Mhm.
And that'll do it for today's community comment on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.
The